anything's possible.
If you try and be patient, it pays off while you're waiting. The seeds you water will grow, the rest will follow. Cause this life's what you make it, and some rules are for breaking. Destiny will play its role, you know. What's meant to be will be, even when it's not easy. Live your life free, no boundaries, even when it's not easy. If you give love, you get love. If you give up, you get nothing. Can't you see? If you just believe anything's possible, don't rush too much. When it gets rough, get tough, sing with me. Through everything, anything is possible. Doesn't always make sense why some things gotta happen. Fight through the rain, cause you know the sun will follow. If you practice persistence, somebody's gonna witness you're working hard and it shows. You know what's meant to be will be, even when it's not easy. Live your life free, no boundaries, even when it's not easy. If you give love, you get love. If you give up, you get nothing. Can't you see? If you just believe anything's possible, don't rush too much. When it gets rough, get tough, sing with me. Through everything, anything is possible. Are you ready to go? I've waited for a long time. I must be out of my mind. Now I'm ready for this to start. When the lights go out, it's so dark. When the moment comes, we'll find the part. Are you ready to go? Are you ready to go? Are you ready to go?
Hello, everyone, and welcome to our March Cub Scout Roundtable. I'm Vinnie Close, Assistant Council Commissioner for Roundtable Program and Support for Great Trail Council, and we're happy that you've joined us tonight. We have a lot of information to share with you over the next hour, so let's kick things off with the Pledge of Allegiance, presented tonight by Cub Scouts from Pack 3759 in Norton.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thanks, guys. And if you have some Cubs that would like to lead us in the pledge, Scout Oath, and Scout Law, let us know in the chat, and we'll contact you after the broadcast to make some arrangements. All right, so we're going to start tonight with a reminder of an announcement from last month about our organization and how we communicate with you. So, as you may have heard, it'd be kind of hard not to, February 8th was our 115th birthday. And as was announced last May at the National Annual Meeting, the name of our organization officially changed on February 8th as the Boy Scouts of America began doing business as Scouting America. What that means for us here in Great Trail Council is that our website and email addresses have changed. GTCBSA.org is now GTCScouting.org. And email addresses that used to end in GTCBSA.org now end in GTCScouting.org. Now again, this change has already taken place, so make sure that you update your website bookmarks and email contacts lists. It's very important. We want to make sure we're already seeing in the in the analytics that some of you are still using the old bookmark links. All right, up next is our safety moment. And this month, it is about rocket safety with a little bit of a clip in there from a little kids show your kids may have watched over the years. So we've got a brief video to share for that rocket safety moment.
A lot of our scouts know the opening of the Little Einstein song, and many of them have probably dreamed of blasting off in a rocket. Shooting model rockets is just one of the broad range of cool activities that today's scouts can learn, and the BSA has developed guidance for leaders in planning and participating in a rocket shoot. Conducting rocket academies is a long-standing event for many scouting packs, troops, and camps. These events are a good way to showcase the broad spectrum of activities and learning associated with scouting and can educate participants and attendees about the STEM program. Safety considerations should be on the top of everyone's list when dealing with projectiles that, if misused, could cause serious injury or damage. Follow these guidelines. Only use lightweight, non-metal parts for the nose, body, and fins on any rocket. Only use certified, commercially made rocket motors appropriate for the rocket, and make sure that nobody tampers with or modifies them. Only use a manufacturer-approved launch rod or tower. Find out if there are any rules and regulations regarding the type, size, and launching of rockets within your community. Always use a countdown when launching a rocket to make sure everyone knows the launch is about to happen. The minimum safe distance is 15 feet for any rocket launch. Always use protective eyewear when launching. This can protect your eyes from being injured by nearby objects blown through the air by the launch. Do not use model rockets for shooting a payload, firing at a target, or launching into clouds or near aircraft. Do not attempt to recover rockets from power lines, tall trees, or other potentially dangerous areas. Take a pause for safety prior to a launch. Pause before you start, assess possible hazards, understand how to proceed safely, share your plan with others, execute the activity safely. Find more tips for rocket safety and other safety moments on the Scouting Safety website.
All right, we want to welcome those of you that have joined us online. We're happy that you've joined us. To help us track attendance, share your pack number and city in the live chat. And if you have any questions during the broadcast, let us know in the chat and we'll get them answered either in the chat or live on air. All right, up next is our membership moment where we're going to talk about how to tell your scouting story. Now, there's no better recruiting tool than an excited Cub Scout, Scouts BSA member, venturer, or Sea Scout telling stories about their adventures. But if you'd like to reach a bigger audience, here are 6 practical tips that your pack, troop, crew, or ship can use to get local news coverage with little effort. First up, have a good story to tell. A good story is one that is compelling, interesting, and intriguing. A good story must have a problem or obstacle, interesting characters, like your scouts, a journey, like how they went about solving the problem, and a solution or a victory. Create good visuals. Strong images and video can make the difference between a story running or not making the cut. Select natural action and candid photos, not posed shots, in good lighting. An up-to-date smartphone will suffice for most work as long as you use the original high-resolution photo settings. Use strong quotes. For newspapers and online outlets, good quotes are essential. A quote should be colorful, short, and sound the way people talk in real life. Hold an interesting event. One of the great things about scouting is that the events that are a matter of routine for us are fascinating to the general public. The Cub Scout Rain Gutter Regattas are fun twists on friendly competitions. And of course, we all know how cool Pinewood Derbies are. Now, we'll be talking more about the district Pinewood Derbies in a few minutes, but you should know that each of these events that we'll be holding this year in the districts, we're going to have a track dedicated to the public to use and try out racing a car for non-scouting families that just happen to be coming by. It's a perfect recruiting opportunity. Invite the local media with plenty of advance notice and provide volunteers to escort them around the event and help them connect with scouts to interview, and they're guaranteed to have a good story at the end of the day. Be the first to set a local record. The first patrol in your troop to complete a 50-miler, the first crew in your district to go caving, or the first scout in your troop to earn Eagle are all newsworthy items. So is the largest tree planting event in your community, or the most dreidels spinning at once. That was a real wet record that was broken at the 2017 National Jamboree. I happened to be there for it. It was a real event. I saw it in person. They broke the world's record for most dreidels spinning. They also broke a world record at that Jamboree for the largest carp ever caught. The person that did it, he broke the record by like 4 pounds. Unbelievable story. And create a meaningful anniversary. The media loves major anniversary stories with a look back and an update on progress today. We just saw that last month. Look for years ending in 5 or 0. Consider the anniversary of your unit's founding, the start of your local summer camp, or a major milestone in scouting history. Like you may have heard that this year marked the 115th birthday of Scouting America. All of those things can help you tell your scouting story. All right, time now for our first of 2 hot topics for tonight. And it's a video that we have from the National Council with tips and resources on holding your annual planning meeting, which is usually done before the end of the school year by PACs, so that you have time to plan and prepare for next year. Presenting the video is our old friend Anthony Berger, the National Director of Cub Scouting.
Sometimes I ponder the great mysteries of life, such as, why are there interstate highways in Hawaii? If you're in a vehicle going the speed of light, what happens when you turn on the headlights? How do you know when it's time to tune your bagpipes? You may think such deep thoughts at times, and one of those thoughts may be, what makes a great Cub Scout pack? We will explore the answer to this question for the ages during this roundtable. Welcome to Roundtable, and I'm glad that you're here as we explore the mysteries of Cub Scouting and what makes a great Cub Scout pack. We will explore this together, and at the end, you should find the answer to this burning question. We're going to approach this with a metaphor of being sick. When you're sick, you know that you're sick because you're showing symptoms, a fever or a runny nose, and you may take something to treat those symptoms, to break the fever or stop the runny nose. However, if you continue to have a fever, you want to find the cause of that fever. You want to find that disease. So in addition to treating the symptom, you want to treat the disease to keep those symptoms from returning. So in Cub Scouting, what's the most common disease, not symptoms, but disease that we find with Cub Scout packs that are struggling? We know that not conducting an annual program planning conference is that disease. Okay, don't let the word conference intimidate you. How about an annual program planning party? The name is not as important as the purpose and the results. Just like eating right, staying hydrated, and exercising can prevent health issues, conducting an annual program planning is the best thing you can do to get your pack healthy and keep it healthy. Our prescription for every pack is to conduct an annual program planning conference. Now, during this roundtable, we're not going to go through the details of how to conduct one. Instead, we will share some proven techniques. To learn how to conduct an annual program planning conference, simply go to My.Scouting and the BSA Learn Center, complete the Cub Scout training module, Annual Program Planning for Cub Scouting. Now, that's found in the Pack Committee Chair training track of Earning Your Training Strip. This 18-minute module will walk you through the details of how to conduct this conference with your pack. In the training module, there is information about the secret sauce of scouting. Now, this is a research-driven project that discovered the 3 key ingredients to the secret sauce that's found in scouting programs that have high retention and participation among their families. Now, the first step is that the pack committee chair and the Cub master should meet to discuss the annual program planning and make some decisions. In addition to setting the date and time and location of the event, there needs to be a decision on what kind of planning event do you want. Do you want this to be a conference with adults only? Do you want it to be an event for adults and Cub Scouts? Or an event where all family members are invited? For example, as Cub Master, I met with our pack committee chair, and we decided to make our conference family friendly. We made ours a summer picnic with hamburgers and hot dogs, fun activities for the kids, and we conducted it on our committee chair's property. Now, all families were invited and expected to attend. We kept it fun and casual atmosphere. Now, this helped us build a community. I want to point out that the element that made our planning conference a success was that it was something that we knew our families would enjoy, and it was something that they could look forward to. From past events, we learned that our families liked special events on a Saturday, and that when we provided food, people showed up. If you choose to have an adult-only conference, will that exclude some members of your pack who are single parents? Is there something you can do to arrange to ensure that they too can participate? Making those type of arrangements creates a very welcoming atmosphere. Now, here's a tip from the experts. At your planning conference, have an open dialogue about defining success for your pack. Now, think of it this way. Next year, at the next planning conference, how will you know that you were successful? When you see smiling faces and hear laughter and see Cub Scouts having fun, that certainly is a great way to measure success. Now, getting gold in Journey to Excellence may be a goal of the pack committee chair. However, if that goal isn't something that everyone else is bought into, chances are it will be a constant struggle. So here's the tip from the experts on that. Keep in mind that it isn't the plan that's going to make you successful, but the commitment to the plan. And the way to get a commitment to a plan is that you need to get ownership by those who are going to be part of making the plan happen. Annual program planning provides not only an opportunity to set dates for meetings and activities, more importantly, it provides an opportunity for your pack to define its own success and to create a sense of community. Another item to address is the pack calendar. This certainly is the objective of the conference, to have a calendar of meeting dates and of events and times and locations for the coming program year. But in this training module, it states the Cub Master Committee Chair should have a draft calendar to present. This is actually a lot easier than it sounds. Instead of starting with a blank calendar, just simply take the dates of all the pack meetings and events from last year's calendar, pencil them into next year's calendar. At the conference, you can go month by month and ask, what needs to be changed? This will help keep the meeting moving, and several months will not require much discussion or any changes at all. If your pack does not have a history of doing an annual program planning, you will need to manage your expectations of participation. You're not going to capture everyone the first time you conduct one, but you will capture some. Like any other well-run event, there shouldn't be any surprises as to who will be there. That means simply personally contact with everyone you are expecting to attend and confirm their attendance if they can or cannot come. So a tip from the experts is use the calendar and the discussions from the annual program planning as a regular part of your monthly committee meetings or monthly parent meetings. A review of the next 3 months, confirming details for the next month, and making assignments for tasks creates a healthy and functional pack. You also want to manage your expectations of the results. Instead of setting the expectation that things will always be perfect or that you're striving towards perfection, have an expectation of continuous improvement. You will make mistakes, and that is okay. Learn from them, make adjustments, and move forward. So, what makes a pack great? Conducting an annual program planning is a major factor in making your pack great. It will help you build a community for your families, and when a community works together, it can overcome any challenge. Now, it's time for you to share. For the remainder of the session, consider these questions. If your pack conducts an annual program planning conference, what part of the conference do you feel your pack does well? What part of the conference do you think your pack could improve on? If your pack conducts an annual program planning conference, why do you think it is an important part of how your pack operates? Have you taken the training module, Annual Program Planning for Cub Scouting? If so, Is there something in that module that you learned and that you use in your pack? What do you do for your annual program planning conference? If you don't conduct an annual program planning conference, what are the barriers to you doing one this summer? And is there someone at Roundtable who would be willing to help you? Now, annual program planning conferences can be a great, fun way to build community for your pack and to get ready for the next program year. So have fun doing it, and I look forward to seeing you next time.
All right, thank you, Anthony. I want to take a minute now to cover a new program that is being offered in Scouting and with other youth organizations worldwide. The name of the program is Scouts Read Sacred Texts. It is an initiative from Scouting America's National Religious Relationships Committee, and it's being promoted here by the Great Trail Council's Religious Relationships Committee. It's a worldwide invitation to Scouts designed to inspire them to set aside some time to read a sacred text from their religion. Now, all youth are encouraged to read on the evening of May 1st, which is the U.S. National Day of Prayer, or any time that week that is convenient. It's suggested that youth, their families, and or their faith leaders decide the specific texts that are going to be read. It's also suggested that youth read for at least 15 minutes, but that is up to each individual and their reading abilities. Now, in 2024, which was the first year for the event, there were over 3,600 youth that participated in this program worldwide. So far, with 2 months to go, over 800 youth have already committed to read for this year's event. Now, there's a registration link that you can see there at the bottom of the slide on the screen right now. This is being coordinated through the Greater St. Louis Council in Missouri. And as with any event that we do in Scouting, there are patches and stickers that are available. Now, you may want to also check with your den and or unit leaders, as participation in this program may count towards duty to God requirements for rank or other adventures and achievements. All right, it is now time for our second hot topic, and we're going to cover resources that are available to Cub Scout leaders to help give you ideas on program planning for the remainder of the school year. We've heard in the feedback from you that many of you sometimes have difficulty in figuring out what to do at den meetings for the remainder of the school year once you've presented your rank badges to your Cubs for the year. Now remember, even though your Scouts may have completed their rank for the year already, they can't start working on next year's rank adventures until June 1st, which is when the new program year begins. So, back with us with another video is Anthony Berger to give us this presentation.
You know, there once was a time when the resources for Cub Scouting came in volumes of printed books and materials. There was a Cub Scout leader book, there was the how-to book, the den leader guide, the song book, and so on. When a new den leader came on board, they were given a box full of books and manuals. Today, we continue to make progress to make the resources needed to deliver the Cub Scout program right at your fingertips and free. Welcome to Roundtable. In this video, we will explore the different resources developed by the National Service Center and the National Cub Scouting Committee that are available today to help you deliver the Cub Scout program. Now, there is always a balance, having enough resources for leaders, but not so much that it becomes overwhelming. With that in mind, we have simplified the resources for Cub Scouting and converted just about everything into a digital format that is available for free. For example, the Cub Scout Songbook now has a free digital version on SoundCloud, so you can actually hear the songs and sing along with your den or pack.
My country 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing.
Let us start with the basics. Position-specific training. When you first registered as a leader, you were required to take youth protection training. You did this by creating an account on my.scouting.org. On that site, this is where you gain access to online training. From the homepage, you'll see at the top icons for your profile with a box called My Training. This is where you access your training resources. Click on it. This page will show your current youth protection training status and when it expires. Below that is a box for Cub Scouting. Now there are 4 different tracks. One is for den leaders or assistant den leaders, one for Cub Masters and assistant Cub Masters, one for pack committee chairs, and then one for pack committee members. The pack committee module takes less than 1 hour to complete. The other positions take about 2 hours. The training is broken up into bite-sized modules that are about 10 minutes each, so you don't have to commit to taking all the modules at once. It will also remember where you left off. The other great thing about the modules is that many of them are the same for each position, and they count towards your training. So for example, if you are a den leader and you take the modules for den leader, when you're done, you will notice that you only need to take one more module that's only 12 minutes long, and then you will become fully trained as a Cub Master or assistant Cub Master. Now, let us explore the most valuable asset to you, and that is scouting.org. From the main page of scouting.org, simply scroll down until you see the Cub Scout logo and click on that. This will take you to the Cub Scout homepage. It's a good idea to bookmark this page. The first section of the Cub Scout homepage is for new families who are looking to join Cub Scouts. There's information on how to find a pack and information about the program. Scroll down and you'll see a section titled Parent Resources. This section has information for new families about the program. You may already know most of this information, but it's a good idea to review it so you know what new families are seeing when they join. On the top of the section, you see that the word parents is in blue. Next to it is the word leaders. Click on the word leaders and it will take you to leader resources. We do a deeper dive in this in Den Leader resources in the Roundtable video, Den Leaders. Today we will highlight the layout of each of the pages for the different positions. We will use Cub Master resources as an example, as the Den Leader and Committee Chair pages follow this similar layout. At the top of the page is the position description. Below that is the supporting literature for that position. This includes the Welcome New Leader series. It could be Welcome New Den Leader or Welcome New Cub Master. And this gives step-by-step directions on how to get started. There is one for Cub Masters, Pack Committee, Lion Tiger Den Leader, Wolf Bear Den Leader, and one for Weeblos Den Leaders. You will also find the Welcome New Family, Cub Scout Family resource. That is useful to send to new members when they join or to use at recruiting events. The link to the Guide to Safe Scouting is next. The Guide to Safe Scouting is an overview of scouting policies and procedures. You should definitely bookmark the link to the online version. The online version always has the most up-to-date policies and procedures, and at the top of the page it has the most recent updates. Next, each leader resource page lists your free digital tools used in scouting. There's also a link to Cub Chat Live, our weekly Facebook Live event where either myself or the National Cub Scouting Chair take questions and share ideas from you on a specific topic for the week. Each leader resource page has a listing of free printable resources that are important to that position. Now, most of these resources are things that are automatically part of Scoutbook, the online tool for unit leaders. You will also find links to health and safety resources such as meeting place inspection sheet and annual health and medical forms and age-appropriate guidelines. The page is designed to put everything you need just one click away. Now, there are other unofficial resources that are out there. Resources designed by our creative volunteers. You may even find some things that look official. So how do you know what is and what isn't? So first, it's important to note that scouting, logos, images, and some phrases are copyrighted and trademarked. Unfortunately, that doesn't stop people from illegally using our brand. Most of the time, it isn't malicious, it just causes some confusion. Someone may use that unofficial site as a way to promote their own thoughts or ideas and not those of the BSA. Official scouting resources are found on scouting.org or is purchased online at scoutshop.org or your local scout shop, and it's that simple. The last resource we'll discuss are unofficial resources. Now, I've seen a couple of unofficial pages that sound official, and they walk a fine line with what they do with copyrighted materials. Often these pages are just links to official BSA documents. A word of caution here, though. Those links may lead to outdated materials. Once again, official BSA documents are found on scouting.org or on scoutshop.org. That is the only way to be sure you have the most accurate information. Now, some pages offer craft ideas and decorative ideas for things like Pinewood Derby and Blue and Gold, and usually these are social media channels like Facebook and Pinterest. I often visit these sites and I absolutely love the creativity that people have when it comes to decorations and crafts. But my word of caution here is when you see a craft or activity on those channels, double check. Make sure that it's still Cub Scouting, which means that it's in accordance to the Guide to Safe Scouting and is officially part of our program. And this brings us to other social media sites that may also include discussions or forums about scouting. Like all social media, this should never be used as your sole source of reference. There are some great social media sites out there, and they're administered by those who are involved in scouting and some great volunteers. Those sites that do a good job of keeping the content in accordance to the Scout Oath and Scout Law tend to have a significantly large following compared to those sites that are simply designed to feed negativity. Often these sites will have someone who will direct you to the official BSA resource, if there is one, that addresses the question or topic. Now, that's it for this roundtable. I hope this helps you understand what resources are available to you and where to find them. Now it's your turn. Consider these questions to spark your conversation with your fellow leaders. What resource did you learn about during this video? What resources do you use the most or find the most helpful? What resources does your local district or council have? Which one of these local resources do you find the most helpful? That's it for this roundtable. I look forward to seeing you at the next roundtable.
All right, thank you, Anthony. We want to give you a quick reminder before we go on about the flower sale fundraiser that's going on right now. You can see the link there on screen. It started on February 14th. You can go to the gtcscouting.org website /flower sale, sign up your unit, and start selling. All right, next, we want to share with you the calendar of upcoming events to make sure that you have them on your pack or den calendar to save the date. Lots of events coming up, so let's take a look at that slide. All right, first up, we have Cub Scout Rangemaster Training. We've got 3 dates coming up at Camp Stambaugh, March 8th, April 5th, and May 31st, and also March 29th at Camp Manatoc, and that is from 9 to 5 on those days. Those are all Saturdays. Next, we have Cub Scout Leaders specific training. There are 2 sessions that you can choose from for that. Each of them run from 8:30 to 1. Now, unlike last month when we said that there was a fee involved in this, there is no fee. It is free as part of the adventure fee. The first date is March 15th at the Canfield United Methodist Church, and the next one is April 20th at St. Stephen Lutheran Church in Stowe. Then we've got our District Pinewood Derbies coming up. The first one is the Stambaugh Pinewood Derby. It's coming up in 2 weeks on March 15th from 10 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. at the Center Court at Eastwood Mall. Now, before you panic and freak out, no, you don't have to be there all day. There's going to be staggered start times for each of these based on your rank. Now, if you have multiple kids in the pack, yes, you may be there for a little while as each of your ranks goes to race. But again, the District Pinewood Derbies are all free as part of the adventure fee. The Canal District, you're coming up on May 3rd, and that is going to be at Chippewa Intermediate School in Doylestown. Soaring Eagle, yours is May 10th at Summit Mall, and it's going to be in front of the Dillard's South store. Registration for that is opening on April 2nd. And Crooked River, your District Pinewood, is on May 17th at Lakewood Intermediate School in Stowe. All of these events are free. They are part of the adventure fee. One important thing that you're going to want to remember for the District Pinewood Derbies is go to the registration page as if you were going to register, and you will find on there a link to the Pinewood Derby rules. It's important to look at these because the rules that the council has published for the District Pinewood Derbies may be different than the rules that your pack had. So make sure that your car is compliant according to these rules. Other thing that's important to remember is these District Pinewood Derbies are open to all Cub Scouts. There are no longer the qualifiers that were needed as they were in the past, where it was only the top 3 in a pack for each rank. These are now open to everybody in the district. Every Cub Scout is eligible to participate. In addition, we talked about they're going to have 4 tracks that are going to be set up at each of these events. One of the tracks is going to be dedicated for non-scouts that may be just happening to walk through the mall or are invited there. They and their families can check it out and see how things go on one of the extra tracks that's there. All right, Baloo training is coming up. Baloo, Basic Adult Leader Outdoor Orientation. That is coming up on April 12th and 13th at Camp Stambaugh. That is also free as part of the adventure fee. Important thing to remember with Baloo training is that your pack, if you're doing a camp out or an outing, you need to have at least one Baloo trained leader on every one of these events. If for some reason that person, you only have one and that person has to leave early, you unfortunately have to cancel the event at that point. So it's always a good idea to have more than one Baloo trained person in your pack. A fun event coming up, it's not free as part of the adventure fee, but it'd be cool if it were, and that is the return of the Good Friday Fish Fry. It's coming up on Good Friday, April 18th, from 3 to 6 p.m. at the historic Camp Manatoc Dining Hall. It is $12 per person, and there are dine-in and takeout options available. And that's, again, on Good Friday, out at the Manatoc Dining Hall, and there's a registration thing that they'd like you to fill out just so they kind of have an idea of how many meals they have to prepare. And finally, Cub Scout range and target activity events. There's too many of them to list here, but if you go onto the website calendar, you can see them all. They start on April 26th, and they continue most weekends through October 11th, and they are going to be at Camps Manatoc, Butler, and Stambaugh. To register for all of those events, go to the web link that was on the bottom of the screen there that will take you to the calendar, and you can sign up and register for all of those events. Finally, we've got another reminder. We want to make sure you all know about this and that you're all getting signed up. Want to let you know that registration is now open for Cub Scout Day and Overnight Camp. As you can see there on screen, there are 5 dates to choose from for day camp and 2 overnight camp dates. Now, you can attend any day camp session that works for you, which may not necessarily be the one that your district is hosting. So if your pack is saying that they're going, let's say, to the June 18th to the 20th one at Camp Butler, but you're out of town that weekend, it's okay to go to one of the others. There's no requirements that you have to go to the one that your district may be putting on. Day camp is open to all Cub Scouts. Overnight camp, there's 2 dates for that out at Camp Manatoc. Overnight camp is open to Cub Scouts who will be Wolf, Bear, Webelos, or Arrow of Light in the fall of this year. Now, overnight camp is a little different with registration in that packs are going to register and pay as an entire unit. 2 packs have already registered, so make sure that you go on and register. There's 24 slots, I believe, in total, and already 2 packs have gotten their slots. So, as you can see there is the registration link at the bottom of the screen. There is also a link in that same spot for financial assistance. If you need financial assistance with any of your scouts to attend day or overnight camp, you can get the application there, and you can see that application deadline is on April 1st. All right, I'm looking over, and do we have any questions or anything on the chat? Nope, we're good? All right. Well, that is going to do it for us tonight. I want to thank everyone for watching, and to thank you for those that are helping me behind the scenes here. Our next Cub Roundtable will be right back here on YouTube Live on Thursday, April 3rd. Now, to close out tonight, we have a video that we produced in-house here in the council that you can use along with other videos at your recruiting events and on your social media. As always, thank you for all that you do for scouting. We'll see you on the trail. Good night, everyone.